So Mike DeCourcy is the esteemed columnist at the Sporting News. He's on Fox Sports doing hoops, and he's on Big Ten Network because he loves Indiana basketball. And he's on Coast to Coast every week. He also has friends at the Pittsburgh airport. And what he does is he calls them to play jokes on me and has my flights canceled when I go to Steeler games. He makes one phone call and he's like, "Can you do me a favor and cancel that Monday morning flight back to New York City that Pharrell's on?" And then sure enough, an hour later, I get a text, "Your flight has been canceled. There are no other seats available until Tuesday at 9:36 in the morning." It's all DeCourcy's fault. Hey, so let's start with this. Penn State's Drew Aller's coming back to his senior season in Happy Valley. And I said yesterday, Mike, I think he needs more seasoning. Oh. I've heard about his high draft stock. I am not buying at all that kid is ready for the NFL. I never thought he was good at Penn State. In fact, I bet against him against Oregon because I said he'll be the guy that costs him the game. Sure enough, 2 picks, he cost him the game. He's not ready for the NFL yet.
No, I mean what you're hearing about him as a first round pick prospect is someone in the media trying to get attention. That's what it is. It's nothing more than that. And we shouldn't give credence to people who are just trying to get attention. We should give attention to legitimate analysis, legitimate reporting. And Drew Aller as a first rounder today, come on. I mean, there's no way he gets past like 3 tests at the combine before they start knocking him down rounds. That's not happening. Now, he's a promising talent still. He's got a long way to go, and part of it has been that he has not had elite receiving talent at Penn State. I think everyone's acknowledged that. I mean, he doesn't have the Jahan Dotsons out there that they used to have at Penn State. They've had a pretty fallow period at that position, so it's harder for him to develop into a NFL-style playmaker. But it can come, and they may do well, who knows, in the portal at that position and elevate Drew's development. But it's certainly not now, and that's why he wisely chose to listen to people who know, and I'm not saying me because I'm just talking about this for the first time, but listen to people who know and say, yeah, I need another year at Penn State.
But you wrote about the kid that's leaving because it cost him, and this is the cost of doing business now in college football with this transfer portal vacuum that sucks guys out of programs. Like, how about the Marshall? They fired the coach. The entire team quit. The entire team's going to the portal, and they canceled their bowl game. I mean, kids are transferring now like I'm walking down to my mailbox.
That is true. Look, I don't blame this young man for doing this. In the middle 2000s, probably around 2004, I'm going to say, maybe a little right around then, Joe Flacco left Pitt after he was beaten out for the starting job at Pitt. And in that period, he had to transfer down a level in order to play immediately. He transferred to Delaware. Now, Delaware was a great program at that point, and it worked out great for him. And he had a tremendous career that included a Super Bowl ring. But now you don't have to do that anymore. And that's the right thing. You shouldn't have to sit out a year the first time you transfer. When you start doing it 2 and 3 times, I can be persuaded that that's not really right. But the first time, it should be immediate. And that's what's going to happen here. Him having to leave the program now, I suspect that once he realized that when Aller was coming back, that he had to leave in order to get some time as a starting quarterback and to get a reasonable NIL payout in the move, that he had to do it now. The positions were closing around the country. Other people were being recruited. He had to get on that merry-go-round. Look, the CFP championship is January 20th. If he happens to choose West Virginia, which is one of the schools that's been mentioned, they start classes on the 13th. So he's got to be there at some point around there. So I totally understand why he would have to leave. And I kind of think Penn State said, if you're going to leave, go ahead.
Wait a minute. No one goes to class. What? So wait, let me ask you this. Rich Rod, we just mentioned earlier that he went back there after that messy divorce when he was in Morgantown the last time. I can't believe I'm seeing that guy go back to West Virginia after the way they hated each other's guts. But tell me how you think it's going to play out in Chapel Hill with Bill Belichick. What's your thoughts on that? I know you wrote about it.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible hire. I don't think Bill Belichick, first of all, he has no experience at all at the college level, at the high major level. None. Zero. He has less than I have because I'm sure I've been to more games than he has. It's absurd to pay $10 million a year to someone who's never done the job. And it's a much different job at the college level than it is at the NFL. At the NFL level, your job is, as a head coach, is about 99% coaching and about 1% talking to the media. That's the split. If you're a college coach, it's about 35% coaching and then a whole bunch of booster stuff and fundraising and dealing with the media, as I mentioned, and having to recruit players. And look, you can say we're going to put it all over on this shelf, and the personnel department led by Michael Lombardi is going to do that. But if you're not involved, you're not winning. Because if you have somebody big time coming in like Ryan Day or someone like that coming into someone's living room, and then it's like the GM from Carolina, where's he going to go? The coach couldn't even take time out to talk to him. Where's he going to go? He's going to go to the school that's really recruiting him. So Belichick has to be involved. He has no experience in that venue. I just don't see this working at all. And that doesn't even bring up the fact that he's starting this job. He will coach his first game at age 73. Hey, I'm old enough. I don't want to be in, I don't want to discriminate against that. But there just hasn't been a lot of success
I do.
For people in their mid-70s.
I'll be lucky if I last 5 more years, Mike. 73, Christ. I'll have a hip replacement, a knee replacement, a divorce. I'll be living alone, drinking out of a bottle. Honestly, Tabatsa, you've seen him play 6'9" stretch. Is it true they're paying that kid over $7 million to play in Provo?
No, my source says it's actually half that. It's still a lot, obviously. But my source says that those figures are overinflated. But I do have, again, reservations about that. Not about AJ. He's a terrific talent, and he'll do his best. But it's been pretty rare that teams that throw one and done into a mix and not a full class of 5-star guys like you've seen on occasion and are seeing right now at Duke with Cooper Flagg surrounded by 5-star guys. Or at Kentucky when John Calipari was there. It's been really rare that you've had great success with teams that have brought a single such player into the mix. And it's pretty common, frankly, that coaches who've done this don't end up being in their jobs very long after this has happened. There's a long list of coaches who've tried this and within a few years found out that it destabilized their program and they're now looking for work.
Mike, I watched Tennessee play Illinois and Champaign, and they both shot so poorly that entire game. And then, of course, Tennessee end-to-end bucket at the buzzer to win it. They got lucky. I still believe, Mike, that Auburn's better than them.
Oh, I don't buy the poll at all. Look, I really like Tennessee's program, and Rick Barnes is one of the really wonderful men in coaching. But as with a lot of the teams at Tennessee, this one's offensively challenged. They are not the best team in the country. It will be very hard for them to win it. Auburn is better as a college basketball team. I don't think they will win it either. But if you asked me, take any team to have the best record at the end of the regular season, the number 1 overall seed, I'm going with Auburn.
Here's DeCourcy. Pharrell will be there for January 5th for the Bengal game, and he'll be there the following week for the wild card game with the Steelers. Can you have both of those Monday flights, kid? Okay, let me know.